Yesterday we have completed the capital projects, capitalization and the tieback process. Then we have discussed about the allocations. So today we are going to discuss about the integration from purchasing module to projects, which is a period end process. Okay. Say receipt accounting method for the expense item. Currently we are looking at the expense item. If it's expense item and your receipt accounting method is period end process for the expense item, then the we will create the purchase order and you need to create the invoice against that purchase order. Then it will transfer to projects, which is the period end process. If you are going with at receipt, then we are going to create the purchase order. You need to create the receipt. Then you need to transfer that cost distributions to your cost management module from purchasing. So once you transfer cost distributions to cost management, from there we need to transfer the cost to your projects module. So this is the process in cloud, but in EBS it's a different process. When your period end process is same, there is no change in the period end process. When coming to receipt and accrue process, so in EBS, once we create the receipt, we can directly transfer to projects. But in cloud, you can't able to directly transfer to projects from your purchasing receipts. The distributions has to go to cost management. From cost management only, we can transfer to projects. So today we are going to see the integration from purchasing to projects with period end process. At receipt process, we need to do some other configurations from your cost management module and the SLA setups as well. So today we will discuss this. Then we'll see the receipt at accrue process tomorrow or Monday. I mean, later we will see. When you are going to period end process, what are the setups we need to validate? We have already done the basic setups from your purchasing module. After that, you need to set up as a transaction accounting builder. So which is going to use to derive your code combination for purchasing transactions, purchase order transactions. So this setup should be taken care by your SCM consultant. So I will show what we need to do and where we need to assign the transaction builder, whatever we are creating, where we need to assign. Let's go to procurement module. So when you are practicing, you must and should you need to configure this, otherwise it will fail to derive the code combination at the time of creating purchase orders. Okay. So under procurement, let's go to procurement transaction account rules. So this is a transaction accounting builder we need to create. So when we go to here, let's go to manage transaction accounting definition. So under this, we need to add the values. We need to set the auto counting. Here, this is the transaction accounting definition. So let's click on place. Just I will show there is a 5 account code combinations we need to give, how the system need to derive the code combination for this particular account types. What is your approval account? What is your charge account? What is your destination charge account, destination variance account, and the variance account? These are the 5 accounts we need to set the. This is something like a SLA, subledger accounting method. Your subledger accounting setups you are doing for your purchase order transactions is nothing but a transaction accounting definition. So here I have already created some rules and I have already created the definition. I will open and show you how to create and how to add here. So just here you will give the name, chart name, description, and which chart of accounts you are using. You need to select that chart of accounts. So before coming to this screen, you need to create the rules. We already know how to create the rules. We need to create the rules and you need to assign which rule is you want to use for approval account, which rule you want to use for charge account. Let me go cancel here. So first go to manage account rules. So here we need to define the account rules, and the same account rules we need to add here. So we need 5 account rules which default code combination. If you want to override any particular specific segment based on some other conditions, then you need to use the separate rule with the segment values. So for a default values, we will create the rules by using as a code combination. So let's search. I have created 5 rules, default rules created. So here in purchasing module, we are not validating any specific account which need to override. So I went with the default code combination level, not the segment level. And there are 5 accounts: accrual account, charge account, destination charge account, destination variance account, and the variance account. These 5 rules we need, these 5 accounts we need to derive the code combination. So I have defined 5 rules. Each rule has been defined with the code combination level. So here the rule type, you can identify whether you are defining based on the particular segment or based on the code combination. This is defined based on the code combination. So if you want to override any specific segment values, then we will define one rule with the segment level, and based on you need to give the rule conditions, whether you are going with the value type is a constant, or you are mapping, you are using as a mapping set, or using as a source. Source is nothing but from the configuration point. So whatever the configurations you are doing, if you need to derive from that configuration, then you need to select as a source, and you can give the source value. So example from project side, I can say expenditure organization is one of the source. That means when you are defining the department level, you have an option to select use the segment values. So if you need to derive the code combination from the department which you are assigning to particular expenditure transaction, then we will go with the source value with the source organization. Okay. So in this case, we are using as a default code combination. So I have taken as a constant and I have given some value. Okay. Similar, like we need to define, you need to define for all 5 accounts, we need to define as a account rules to derive same code combination. Derive code combination, we need to define as a account rules for each type of account. Once you define that, then you need to go to transaction account definitions. So here search TCS. So this is a transaction account definition I have already defined. So when we are defining this transaction account definition, so we are going to link with your chart of accounts. So make sure that when we are creating the rules, whatever the chart of accounts we have used, so here also we need to use the same chart of accounts. Sorry. So if you are giving the different ones, you can't able to select your combination rules which we have created, because when you are creating the combination rules, we have selected the specific segment values, sorry, specific chart of accounts. So here these 5 transaction account types are default ones which is going to default, and you need to add only the account combination rule. So here I am using only account combination rule. If in case I mean not as a project consultant, if it's a procurement consultant, they need to decide the remaining segment values has been, if say they want to use as a dynamic values for the account segment, it has to change based on the transaction to the transaction. Then we need to create one more account rule with segment level, and you need to give how system has to derive. So that rule we are going to assign here. So this we already aware, when we are creating the projects module, we have override that particular segment values, and the rules has been defined based on the mapping sets. So then you need to check, after adding these combinations, you need to check what is the status of this one. If the status is not active, you need to activate the status first. So when you click on activate, system will activate the the status will change to active. So once we completed this account definition, then system somewhere we need to assign that we need to use this transaction accounting builder for my particular ledger, right? Otherwise, how system knows that? So which transaction builder system has to use? By default, system level, whenever you are creating the ledger, it will default one of the standard accounting builder. Okay. So next, go to manage subledger accounting options. Here, search with your ledger. So our ledger is Sony demo ledger. So you can cross check and going with your business unit setup level, and you can see which ledger you have attached. So search with that ledger and then go to purchasing module. Click on accounting, edit on accounting options. So here there is a transaction accounting definition. Okay. So here you need to add the transaction accounting definition which you have created. Okay. So if you are not adding here, then system doesn't know which say if you are not adding here, then system will use as a default one. So by default, we will get purchasing tab default accounting. This is a standard one. Okay. So we need to use transaction accounting builder, which we are using. Guys, any questions on this? So any questions with configuring this, transaction accounting builder? Okay, no questions. The next thing, what you need to do, whenever we are doing the transactions from projects module, we have changed the accounting method, right? So subledger accounting method, we are using the custom one which we have created. But when you are doing the transactions from other modules, you need to change that to standard one. So let's go to financial reporting and specify ledger options. Let's select your ledger and change your accounting method from custom one to standard. Okay. Let's go to, oh, sorry, we are using not the TCS. The ledger we are using Sony ledger, right? So this is a Sony ledger. So I have already changed from custom one to standard. When you are doing practice, make sure that, so when we are creating any expenditures from your subledgers, then we are going to use the standard approval. Okay. Only use the custom one when you are creating expenditures from projects. Let's save and close. So now as a process, let's come to procurement and create a purchase order. purchase orders. So under procurement, click on purchase orders. Go to navigator, task panel, and click on create order. So this is a standard purchase order. So procurement BU and requisition BU is same, which is defaulting. Select the supplier, which supplier you want to use. And we are using as a TCS supplier. So remaining information, it's defaulting. Let's leave it and click on create. Now select the bill to location, so which is mandatory. So you need to add the bill to location, and ship to location is not mandatory. You can leave it. And let's come to lines. So click on place. So here we need to add the lines. When we are adding the lines, we will give the project information as well. So type, let's take it any type, it doesn't matter. I'm going with fixed price service. So instead of goods related ones, this is the service related ones I'm selecting. So because we are using as a expense item, right? This is the integration which we are doing for expense item. If it is the inventory item, first it has to go to inventory. Then from inventory, we need to do the miscellaneous issue process. So just PO to PA, I'm giving as a description. Category, select any category which is exists. So there should be some supplies or office supplies. Take any one of the supply which is exists. So AN office expenses. And price, say I'm giving 4,000 as your price. So location. So this is a line level location. And the requester. So who is the requester for this particular line? And click on edit button. Okay. So let's take it the charge account here. However, your transaction account builder will override. So even though if we are giving charge account from there, it will take all the accounts. So this is a expense item. Let's take it as a order level with the matching option, and the matching level is two-way. Let's go with the first project number. You can select any one of the project number. So either you want to use capital, burden, or internal. Let's take it as a capital project. Any project you can use. The expenses are common for all type of projects. The expenditure process. Only the further process will change based on your project type. So let's select task from list of values. So expenditure item date. Let's take it today's date or yesterday date, and the expenditure type. And the expenditure organization, we are using TCS Consulting. So that's it. This is the project information we are adding. So you can see the funding source is applicable when you are going with the sponsored projects. Let's click on OK. So go to actions and validate. If any issue, we can identify here. So if no errors or warnings were found, then let's click on submit. So the approvals we have already set as a auto approvals, right? So based on the auto approvals, so in couple of minutes it will automatically, the purchase order will approve and it will show as a the status is it will change to open. So when it's open, we can able to create the invoice against that orders. Let's go to manage, go to manage orders and search with your procurement view and buyer. So here I can able to see couple of invoice. One invoice is already closed for invoice. This is in pending approval. When you click on this status, it will say some error. So that means it is in the process. Okay, here you can see the task is completed and approved. Okay, this is the approval workflow. You can able to see. Let's say auto approved has been done. I'll just research. So now the status is open. So when the status is open, let's go to your payables and create the invoice against this particular purchase order. So you can go from home as well. So just I'm going with the navigator, which may be comfort for you. But from here also you can go. Let's go to payables and invoice. So generally this is the better way instead of going from the navigator. So let's click on create invoices. So let's select the PO number, which PO, against which PO we are creating this. So take it as a supplier as well. So there are so many PO numbers with the same number. So this is the purchase order which is created by us. Select that purchase order and click on OK. Now the number, say this is integrating from your PO to PA1. So the amount is 4,000. We have created the purchase order. So the date, payment terms, leave it, and the requester, let's take it as a TCS is the requester. Here click on select the matching invoice lines and click on go. So let's select this one and click on apply and click on OK. So just I'm matching the invoice lines with purchase order. Then now whatever the information we have given on purchase order distributions, the same has to be copied here under your invoice distributions. So in purchase order distribution level, you will enter the project information, and the same project information, it should be defaulted to your invoice distributions. Let's go to click on the distributions where we can able to see the project information. So you can drag to your right. So there you can able to identify your project details, project number, task number, expenditure item date, expenditure type, and expenditure organization. So this is defaulting from your purchase distributions. So let's click on save and close. The further process is it's same. You need to click on go to actions, validate the invoice first, and we will see if there is any holds. It will show the holds. Now the currently the invoice is status is validated. Again go to invoice actions, click on post to ledger. So if you want to see your accounting, let's click on view accounting. We can able to see the accounting here. Your liability account with expense account. Now from here, save and close. Go to projects. Under go to costs. So from here we need to run the program import cost. Let's select the transaction source as Fusion Peoples, and the document entry, this is a supplier invoice. So we have expense reports, intercompany, intra project, payment, and supplier. This is the supplier invoice. And click on submit. So this is completed. Now go to manage project cost. And from here, select the project number which we have created the expenditures. We are using as a capital project. Select the project and click on search. Now we have created the transaction with 4,000. The number, you can see the highest number is the latest transaction. So this transaction, what is say expenditure, this transaction ID is a unique for each expenditure item. So let's click on this we can able to see further details. We can able to see once we click on that. So this is the project information details. You can drag to down. You can able to see what is the invoice number. Okay. This is the integration from your purchasing to projects if it is a expense item, and your purchasing receipt method is receipt period end for expense item. Any questions, guys?
In ABS, we are using account generator, where in Fusion, we are using transaction account builder for deriving account code combination.
Correct.
And in case if we modify any account code combination, we have to change the SLA in ABS, whereas we are defaulting that rule in ఇక్కడ చేంజ్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా సార్, ఇక్కడ చెప్తున్నాం కాబట్టి we are not modifying SLA, we are using the standard SLA.
Where regarding to
ఇక్కడ మనం అకౌంట్ కోడ్ కాంబినేషన్ చేంజ్ చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ డిఫాల్ట్ చేయడానికి చెప్తున్నాం మనం, ఇక్కడ మనము కాస్టింగ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ లోనే చెప్తున్నాం ఇది యూజ్ చేయాలి అని చెప్తున్నాం. సో SLA అందుకే టచ్ చేయట్లేదు సార్ ఇక్కడ మనం.
Okay, so you are talking about when we are creating the purchase order, the account default accounts we are not using SLA. That is what you are saying?
సార్, ఎందుకంటే మనము ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ అకౌంట్ బిల్డర్ అక్కడ మాడిఫై చేస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి ఈ పర్చేస్ ఆర్డర్కి ఇది యూజ్ చేయాలి అని చెప్పినాం కాబట్టి మనము SLAని ముట్టట్లేదు, అందుకే స్టాండర్డ్ SLAని యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం అనుకుంటున్నాను.
See, that is okay. In purchasing module, that is the SLA configuration only. Transaction account builder is nothing but a SLA only. So, that is part of subledger accounting. Okay, but when you are doing from purchasing, they are calling as it's a transaction account builder. It's a separate.
Okay. అప్పుడు SLA మార్చాలి కదా సార్ మనం, అంటే ఇప్పుడు కస్టమ్ SLA యూజ్ చేయాలి కదా అప్పుడు GL లో.
Okay, so that is what that is a slightly different in purchasing module. See, account rules definition is part of SLA only, right? In SLA also we are creating the same account rules, correct?
Okay.
But so transaction accounting builder, you are not directly adding as a journal entry rule sets and adding to your subledger accounting method. These all are not required. But by using part of SLA, you are creating the rules, and that rules you are assigning to direct transaction builder. It's a separate way of integrating for your purchasing transactions only. That is applicable only for purchasing transactions. The transaction accounting builder is applicable only for purchasing transactions. You can see the accounting also, it is using only for your charge account or variance accounts and accrual accounts only.
Okay.
But rule definition is same. So when you are creating the account rules you are creating for your transaction builder or your journal entry rule sets, we will use the same rules. But only the difference, instead of journal entry rule sets and the subledger accounting method, there with the different way we are going, you are creating a transaction accounting builder and directly you are attaching that to your accounting method level, not with SLA level. It's a separate configuration.
Okay.
That is only for purchasing transaction. Remaining all modules we are going to use SLA.
Okay, sir. One more, sir. In EBS we use job based and position based approval workflow. Here we are not using any job based and position based approval workflows.
That is depending upon how you want to define your approvals. See, I went with the auto approval because I don't want to send to someone to approve. Okay, so that you can define. Here it's a different, it's a parallel or serial, like that you are having the approval. Okay, parallel means you can send multiple resources at the same time, they will receive the notifications. So serial means if say first has to approve manager, then it has to go to next his manager, then his manager. It's a multiple levels, right? That is what serial wise, once he approved it will go to next level, he approved it will go to next level.
Okay.
That's already
It-
there. But yeah, in our configuration, I have done as a auto approval.
Okay. ఇది టెక్నికల్ వాళ్ళు హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తారా సార్ ఇది అప్రూవల్ వర్క్ లో ఇక్కడ ఫిజన్ లో లేకపోతే మనమే చేయొచ్చా?
So it's a simple workflows we will handle, other else we will use to technical.
ఓకే. అంటే మనం అంటే ఇక్కడ
మోస్ట్లీ ఫంక్షనల్ వాళ్ళే చేస్తారు. ఐ మీన్ ఇంకా క్రిటికల్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఏమన్నా ఉంటే మోడిఫై చేయాలంటే చేయాలి కానీ బట్ జనరలీ ఫంక్షనల్ వాళ్ళే చేస్తారు.
ఎక్కడ చేస్తాం సార్ ఇది అప్రూవల్ వర్క్ లో మనం చేయాలనుకుంటే?
Already I shown right last time when we are creating the auto approval, there only you need to select how you want them.
Okay.
You want to give the level. There I have selected as a auto approval, right? The actions.
Okay. Okay, sir. చూస్తాను సార్ అయితే. Thanks.
Any other questions, guys? Okay, if you are clear with this process, then we will discuss. We have some time and we will discuss with the adjustments. I think adjustments we are not yet discussed, right? So that adjustments we will discuss. So for doing adjustments, generally when we will do the adjustment. So we will do the adjustments if the user has done mistakes at the time of creating projects, then we need to adjust those transactions. Say example, when in payables, it says the user is selected wrong wrong project information. He has to select the project A, but he selected project B, and the cost is already imported to projects and the invoice is closed. That means the payment also completed for that invoice. If reversing the invoice, it will take a lot of efforts and the time, right? So you need to cancel the payment, you need to void the payment, and you need to cancel the invoice, and again you need to create a new invoice, or you need to add the distributions for that invoice. So instead of that, so we have as a project, we can adjust from the projects once the expenditures have came to projects. And when I'm validating the data from the project side, maybe we as a project consultant is identified this is the wrong combination has been entered by the payables team. So what he can do the adjustments. That is what he can transfer from one project to another project, or one project from one task to the same project with different tasks we can transfer. That is what the adjustment of your expenditure transaction. That is one scenario. In another scenario, maybe so one of the invoices came for them $1,000, but it has to distribute two different projects. But user has selected one project only for the total amount, and the cost is came to project. Then we can do from projects as a split and transfer. So you need to split that $1,000 into two lines as a 500 and 500. Then we will transfer one of the 500 to a different task or different project. We'll see how we can do. Let's go to manage project cost. Okay, so this is the expenditures we have collected. Say example, this is the project. So this 3,500 is related to the task, different task, or you can use a different project. It's up to you. You can do both. So let's select this one. Go to actions. Let's go to costing. So there you have a transfer. Okay, split, transfer, split and transfer. Let's go to transfer first. So that means we are transferring the entire 3,500 to different project with a different task, or within the project with a different task. So now this forcing. So which project and which task you want to transfer. This is the source of the project and task. This is the target one. If you want to transfer with the same project, let it be same project and select the task is different. Let's click on submit. Now you can see the first, this 3500, it will create as a negative line. Okay. So whatever the positive line you have, we are adjusted transferred the 1.1 task 3500, it's created as a 1.1, the minus 3500. So then the same 3500 has been moved to different project. So overall the effect is same. It will create two lines, with one is negative line to adjust the original transaction, and there is one positive line which is creating as a new expenditures in the different task. Similar way, you can go to the other transaction, go to actions, go to costing, click on split and transfer. So here, how much you want to split for one task and how much you want to split for another task. So here say one of the tasks I will split some amount, say 1500 I am transferring to task 2.1, and so the second task I am using the same task with 2005. Let's click on submit. Now what system will do? System will create first one negative line of 4000, then two positive lines with this amount. So you can see the 4000 has been adjusted with this plus 5000, sorry, plus 4000 we have adjusted. So system created one negative line with the 4000. Then the same 4000, it's created two positive lines for task 1.1 2500 and 2.1 is 1500 based on what you have given in the split amount. Okay, this is how you can do the adjustments. If you want to do the mass adjustments also, you can create the mass adjustments. And there is other adjustments which are related to a different ones. So in the billing level, you can do the adjustments from billable to non-billable, non-billable to billable, and we can hold the invoice. That we will discuss later. The costing side, we have transfer, split and transfer. If you want to reverse, you can reverse the expenditures as well. The remaining recalculate raw cost amount means, if say example initially the rates, raw cost is going to calculate based on your rates, say example for the employee timesheet. So initially you have created some expenditures and we have already calculated the cost based on some of the rate schedules. But later point, you know that the rates has been given in the rate schedule is wrong. Okay, so you are modifying that rates. You have modified the rate schedules, and after modifying the rate schedules based on the new rates, you need to recalculate. You need to calculate the cost for this particular expenditures. You need to select the specific expenditure line, and you can go with the recalculate raw cost. When you are doing this, the system will validate the current rate schedules which you are assigned, and from that rate schedules, whatever the current rates is exists, based on that rates, it will distribute the cost. Okay, it will update your raw cost. Similar way, burden cost. So this is related to non-capitalizable. You can set from the expense item to expenditure to capitalizable or non-capitalizable. So this, when it will come the scenario means, say example, we are using in the same capital project, we have both kind of expenditures we need to go. So you will get that requirement in the real time. In a capital project, maybe some of the expenditures are related to a capital expenditure and some of the expenditures are related to a operational expenditures, but the project is a capital project. Only capital expenditures you need to capitalize as an asset, and the non-operational expenditures will be treated as the expenses for that particular project. In that case, so we will differentiate based on the tasks. Say user is, if this is a capital expenditure, but user by mistake he has selected the operational expenditure related task. Okay, so then when it come to projects, so it will come as a non-capital expenditure. So the capitalizable checkbox will be disabled and system will treat that is a operational expenditure. So later we identify that is a capital expenditure, but users has mistakenly added as a non-capital expenditure, operational expenditures. We need to update that to as a capital expenditure. Then only once it's updated, I need to capitalize that. In that case, we can change the particular expenditures from capitalizable to non-capitalizable or non-capitalizable to capitalizable. Vice versa, you can do the adjustment from the projects. Okay, this is what the adjustments. So any questions we'll discuss. You guys, any questions? Let me know. Others, so we'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow with a different topic. So now only the pending is the integration from your receipt at accrual and from inventory. And I expenses also is there. I expenses I will check that is it's not allowing me to search the employee. So once we search the employee, we need to add the default expense account I need to add. So that's what I'm waiting. So if no questions, we'll stop here and we'll continue tomorrow with.
Yeah. May 1st is holiday, right, Chandra?
First is holiday. If you okay, today is 29th, 30th, Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday. Yeah.
Okay, then we will take leave on Friday. Tomorrow we'll continue, and maybe we will see whatever we can discuss. We will discuss tomorrow, and if we want, we will take the leave from 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We will restart on 4th.
No, it's fine for me. Either is fine for me.
Yeah, tomorrow we will decide
Yeah,
based on others.
Yeah. Okay.
Check. Okay. Thanks, Shiva. Okay, guys. Then we'll see you tomorrow.